diverse is much more stable. So this is one of the early schemes that we did to explore this idea. Now you have to remember that extremely difficult to try and convince a client, and so a lot of these are done sort of almost surreptitiously. And a client says, "Why do you do that?" I says, "Oh, I think it looks nice." And so this is the first building we built for. So they accept that sometimes they say, "Well, take it away, Ken." So in this instance, it wasn't. This is the first building we did for IBM. And part of the reason why the clients sort of interfere with my design was because I introduced IBM to them as the landowner, and IBM signed a long lease with them, and gave them a huge amount of money upon signing the agreement. So they knew that the project was going to be a success from day one, and provided I built it within budget, nobody's going to get seriously upset with me. And so the idea was to have vegetation starting from the ground, weaving its way up to the top of the building, going across the floor. And the client says, "Why does it go to the floor?" That's actually the mid-level transfer floor. And I said, "It's the plant room." Plant room, yes, all right. Plant room's fine. And so the vegetation works its way up, and then what the planter boxes have a series of sprinkler systems that feed water and fertilizer into the planters. Then it goes round the corner and it works its way up to the building. So that was an interesting experiment. This is a much more recent version. This is a 2006 version. This building that we're doing at the University of Hong Kong. And this time, we are instead of weaving its way, along diagonally, because if you work this way diagonally, halfway up the building, you run out of the building. And so this way, we thought we would have a much more ziggurat sort of pattern, and the vegetation starts from the ground, works towards up to the top of the building, to the roof garden, and then in between we have a number of terraces, sky courts, and this is actually the site plan of the building. You can see that phase one is that sort of banana-shaped block on the left-hand side, and on the northern part of the site is actually a very nice vegetated park. It's almost a wild park. It's not a sort of human managed park, and so the client was in particular was a tree hugger, and he said, "Look, I don't want any of the trees to be cut down," and so we had to survey all the trees, and you can see that the trees' location was sacrosanct, was sacred to the client, and so we had to shape the building, phase one and phase two, so that